Welcome to Moonshot Radio with your host, Dr. Nivea Torres.
Greetings and welcome to Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn. I'm your host, Nivea Torres, Executive Director of the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, also known as KRC. Our vision is that all children in Indian River County will be ready for kindergarten. We proudly partner with the Moonshot Movement, who is transforming the next generation in Indian River County by having 90% of all students reading on grade level by the third grade. With me today in the studio is a regular contributor, Brooke Flood. Brooke is the School Readiness Coordinator for the School District of Indian River County. Brooke, welcome back.
Hello. Thank you. I'm so glad to be back today with you, Nivea.
We're so glad to have you back, and I want to talk a little bit about your previous interviews, because this is your third interview.
Third? Can you believe it?
So what has the feedback been like, and how has the information been shared with parents in the county?
Absolutely. So the feedback has been phenomenal. We couldn't have asked for a better platform to be able to share information about the importance of early learning, especially our preschool, pre-K, voluntary pre-K program, not just for the school district, but the community in general. So we had the opportunity to put the videos onto our school district voluntary pre-kindergarten page. Our first video, where we talk exclusively about the importance of pre-K and why a family would want to have access to that type of programming, is actually on our front page. And then in our How to Apply page on the website is our second video, which gave us exclusive information on how to apply for the district, but most importantly for the community, how to apply for that certificate of eligibility, which is most important when a parent is looking to put their child into a voluntary pre-kindergarten program. So thank you.
Well, and thank you. And that information lives on your website, so parents can access those videos.
Yes.
They're also available on the KRC Facebook page or on the KRC website as well. But we're so happy that the information is really getting out to where it needs to be, to the families.
Yes, we have had, I think our first video has about 2,200 hits already, and we recorded that back in October. In January, we did our second, and we're at about 850, 900-ish somewhere. So we are doing well. I am really excited and just thrilled at the opportunity to be able to share all this information with our families across the district.
Well, and thank you for joining us today. So today we continue the conversation, and today we're going to talk about the early learning and developmental standards.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about what those standards mean and why are they important for little ones?
Absolutely. So our early learning and developmental standards were actually created back in 2007. There was a comprehensive group from the Office of Early Learning through the state of Florida who came together and created developmentally appropriate standards, per se, milestones for our children ages birth to 5 to follow. Well, as we've grown, obviously technology has grown, our world has changed, and just this past year, that group, the Office of Early Learning, plus the Department of Education Office of Early Learning, got together a panel of national and state experts to come together and create a more, how would you say, more inclusive type of standards where they are more meaningful and they apply more to the day-to-day that our children are facing now. And I was honored to have that opportunity to work on that state panel. I actually worked on the 4-year-old social studies standards. So a lot of the work that a parent would see when they're looking at a social studies standards for their 4-year-olds, I had a chance to be a part of that. So,
well, that's exciting
really
that we have someone from our local community who was an integral part of the development of those early development standards. Now, Brooke, when we talk about standards, just to clarify for our moms and dads and other folks who are listening to us or watching us, we say standards, we say milestones. What does that mean so it's familiar and understandable to families?
Sure. So for a family, and as families are visiting pediatricians, they'll hear those words milestones, developmental milestones. And then all of a sudden, oh, my child's 3 years old and my teachers are talking about standards. How does this all go together? Well, it's basically just that continuum of development. A child is born and we expect that certain milestones are met along their day-to-day life. And we have, as our group, come together and really establish what a family should see from ages birth to 8 months, 8 months to 18 months, 18 months to 24, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to kindergarten. Is it worrisome if your little one's not making those standards? No, definitely not. Keep an eye on it for sure. Talk to your pediatrician. Reach out to agencies like Early Steps, our program here with the district with Child Find, if you have concerns about that. But these developmental standards are for us across the state so that all providers are able to share the same information and teach your child in the same way that someone in another part of the state would be focused on.
Oh, well, that's a great explanation. So it's just our look-fors. These
Absolutely
are look-fors.
Yep.
We're looking very closely for these things, and we're sort of keeping tabs on the progress for our little ones.
Yes, and each one builds on each other. So kind of envision building blocks.
Building blocks.
So before you can add one layer, you have to have a nice stable layer beneath. So it might take a little bit of time. And as I've shared with you earlier, life is a journey. It's not a race. So don't force your little one to try to meet those standards, but definitely be aware and know that your children's teachers, whether they're in a birth to 1 year classroom or a VPK classroom, those teachers are all looking at the same information and they're making sure our littles are on the right track.
Oh, well, that's perfect. And that's such a great explanation, Brooke. So we're talking about building blocks. Now, as we talk about building blocks, I want you to share with our listeners a little bit about the difference between VPK and kindergarten. And you and I have shared our own personal experiences about kindergarten. I have warm, fuzzy memories of eating cookies, drinking milk, and watching Sesame Street. How is that different, Brooke, from what happens in VPK now?
Absolutely. So what you just described is actually what our pre-Ks are now. Okay. Our pre-K is that world of play. It's that opportunity to explore, to problem solve, to learn communication skills. Kindergarten now is not what we envisioned and what we experienced years ago. It's very analytical, a lot of higher level problem solving. It's taking those skills that you've learned from birth to 5 and applying them in situations. Should your child be learning to read in pre-K? No, we want them to learn how to play. That social interaction is almost as important as those early readiness skills, probably more so, because then they can take what they are learning and apply them when they do get to kindergarten.
So we're talking about something that's more analytical, as you said, not necessarily the rote memory and those rote exercises that we remember from our early years. So, you know, the ABC song and knowing your ABCs or chanting something in particular. That's not exactly what we're looking for when we're talking about these early learning developmental standards.
So those are that phonological awareness, knowing that sounds, you can play with sounds, you can put them together to make words. That is the beginning. That is that early literacy that will then translate into kindergarten, where a child is beginning to learn how to read. And to have that play with those sounds gives you that stronger foundation, that next building block going into kindergarten.
Oh, excellent. So we're going to start diving in to the website, but we'll preface that by saying that we are going on a journey and we're learning along with parents. So for those folks who are watching us or listening, we don't want you to become anxious and think that you need to learn everything today. Like I said, Brooke is a regular contributor. She'll be back. She'll guide us. Yes, she'll guide us through this whole process, but we're just diving in today to look at the website. So we're going to bring the website up.
Fantastic.
And then you're going to walk us through the website. Now, this link for the website will be on your school district website, correct?
We are going to have it on our VPK website. We are in the process of getting that ready. So it will be located when you go to the district webpage. You'll want to click on departments, go to voluntary pre-kindergarten, and it will probably have its own tab that says early learning and developmental standards. And then it'll access right to this as well as our video. So our families will be able to access this video as well.
So all of that information will be there.
It will be up and coming.
And
Yes.
something else I want to mention before we dive into these standards, which I think is important. You shared earlier with me that these standards, these milestones, are important for little ones, regardless of whether they are in your school district, in the school district of Indian River County, with a local VPK provider, correct? They apply to everyone.
These apply to everybody. These standards are, as we shared, birth to 5. Every provider, whether VPK, it's a 1-year-old classroom, a 2-year-old classroom, those teachers should be accessing these standards, these early learning developmental standards, so that all of our children are gaining those readiness skills that are so important for them as they move through.
So mommy and daddy and a parent or caregiver, if you're listening, these are look-fors when you visit a classroom or you work with that teacher. This is something to keep in mind.
Yes.
Where should we look here?
All right. So this is our main webpage. This is where it first starts. And the website, it's actually kind of fun to remember. It's the letter F, L, as in Florida, B for birth, T for 2, the number 5, .floridaearlylearning.com. So FLBT5.floridaearlylearning.com. And that's where the families will go. So they're going to land here on our main page when they get there. And this is just, you can see the about, standards, concepts across standards, families, resources. Great place for when you have a little free time and you want to explore. Absolutely dive in there. We're not going to hit everything today, but we want our families to be able to see that. So if we could click on, actually, if we could scroll down just a little bit, I want to get down to the bottom. Gives a little bit, each of the pages has a little bit of information. And these are the 8 domains that our families will be able to find the different standards in. You have your physical development, approaches to learning. Approaches to learning is pretty neat in that is where the curiosity is sparked.
Ooh,
yes.
Okay.
So there are things like eagerness and curiosity, persistence, creativity, and inventiveness, planning and reflecting. If a parent were to walk into a VPK room and we're moving into centers, they might get a little confused as to why their little one is taking so long to get to a center. Well, it actually takes a little one almost 15 minutes to plan what center they want to go to, what do they want to do when they get there, and how are they going to go through the motions of actually partaking in that center.
Yes.
So it takes a while. Planning is important. You would think as a 4-year-old, they're just going to run right over and know what to do.
No.
Not always. You got to give them that planning time just like a grown-up does as well. So that's a really interesting domain to dive into. Our social emotional development, language and literacy, mathematical thinking, scientific inquiry, social studies, and creative expression through the arts.
So I'm going to pause right here. We're going to leave that screen up.
Sure.
We're going to take a break.
Perfect.
To hear from our sponsors, and we will be right back.
Awesome.
At the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, our vision is for every parent, regardless of income or zip code, to have the knowledge and tools they need to raise healthy children that are prepared for kindergarten. Our mission is to support our partners in developing a high-quality early childhood system that is family-centered. Our outreach and parent engagement specialists connect with families and build trusted relationships. KRC has chosen Fellsmere and Gifford as our 2 focus areas in Indian River County. Our Fellsmere office is located downtown in the city annex, and our new Gifford office is located within Victory Park Apartments. Our administrative offices are now located adjacent to Healthy Start and Treasure Coast Community Health in Vero Beach. The Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, developing a high-quality early childhood system for all children in Indian River County.
Everyday activities are great for finding moments for talking and teaching new words. Babies' brains grow 80% in the first 18 months of life. As parents and your baby's first teacher, you can help build their brain with language and literacy skills. Involve the whole family. Ask questions. The more words babies hear, the larger their vocabulary can grow. Support early childhood education by talking, reading, singing, and family engagement. This message has been brought to you by PNC Grow Up Great and the Florida Grade Level Reading Campaign.
The Cataract Institute at New Vision Eye Center is the first place on Florida's East Coast to offer the Varian high-definition imaging system, bringing custom cataract surgery to a whole new level. Dr. Paul Minotti and Dr. Stephen Tate are pleased and honored to now provide the Varian image-guided system to further enhance visual outcomes for their patients. Call New Vision Eye Center for a consultation or second opinion. Your eyesight deserves world-class eye care. Visit newvisioneyecenter.com or call 772-257-8700.
Are you talking about having your own radio or TV program? Then you should talk to Planet Vero. Here's why we're the best. Your show will be heard on 3 local iHeartMedia stations, plus worldwide on the iHeartMedia network. And you can choose our live stream option, which gives you 6 cameras and professional television studio quality production that's delivered to many social media platforms. Call us for a free, no obligation on-air interview, and we'll show you the power of Planet Vero, radio, and TV. That's 772-778-2832. Follow the powerful Rush Limbaugh Show on Planet Vero Radio. Take advantage of the amazing opportunities on social media like Facebook and YouTube with a live stream broadcast. Call 772-778-2832. It's the future of marketing. It's Planet Vero, and it's brought to you by Idea Garden Advertising. Visit planetvero.com.
Looking for a change? How about Renaissance? Visit Renaissance Senior Living and see what La Vida Bella means in Vero. Convenient to downtown and Miracle Mile at 2100 10th Avenue, US 1. Offering 36 apartments for assisted living residents to live the good life, close to everything in Vero. We have 24 apartments for memory care residents, a secure and safe space for those living with dementia and Alzheimer's issues. Stay connected to your loved ones' lives and find new friends to share your life with. RenaissanceVeroBeach.com to find out more.
Welcome back to Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn. I'm accompanied today by Brooke Flood, who's the School Readiness Coordinator, and she has become a regular contributor to Moonshot Radio. She is here today to walk us through the early learning and development standards for the state of Florida. Did I get that right?
You got it right. Absolutely.
Perfect. And right before the break, we were walking folks through the website. Could you mention that website again?
I sure can. Please. It is the letter F, L for Florida, the letter B for birth, T for 2, the number 5, .FloridaEarlyLearning.com.
Perfect.
Yes.
And if you're watching us on live stream or video, we're going to bring that website up again.
Perfect.
And before the break, I know that you were walking us through the domains.
Yes.
We stopped at adaptive approaches to learning.
We talked about approaches to learning, and then the other are pretty self-explanatory. We have our social emotional development, which is a big one for our little ones right now. That's where they're learning to get along with friends, how to request an item, how to say no thank you. It's all that, how to interact with our peers.
Yes.
Language and literacy is all that pre-reading, getting your sounds and how words play together and how you can manipulate sounds to make new sounds and rhyming words and silly words. Then we have our mathematical thinking, which, believe it or not, there's algebra and geometry.
Of course.
That is in there for our little ones. Isn't that cool? We have our scientific inquiry. Social studies, which I shared earlier, was the area in which I did the most work on with the standards. And then our creative expression through the arts. So art, music, how to appreciate art, dance, creative movement. It is so much fun to just dig in there.
I love seeing these domains because it's so comprehensive.
Yes.
And when you look at these domains, you get a clear picture that in essence, we're really trying to support the child in all areas.
Yes. Well-rounded all the way around. We don't want to leave anything out.
No. And clearly nothing was left. Nothing was left out.
There was a lot of a lot of love put into these standards, a lot of hard work. I'm not going to lie, it was hard work, but it was worth it to be able to see everything broken down and so much more comprehensive. And for a teacher to be able to see, oh, this little part of a standard builds on this part of the standard, and then it becomes this greater standard. So you have little substandards that create the bigger standard. It was fascinating to me, and I've been in education 23 years. So to see that was just, it was neat. It was really cool.
So everything is connected, and as you said earlier, everything is a building block that supports the child for ultimately to be ready for kindergarten, which is that is the goal.
That is our goal. Yes.
Excellent. So what else from the website should we be looking at as we dive into it?
Absolutely. So I think one of the neatest parts of the website when we get it back up will be the concepts across standards. It's right there in the middle.
Okay.
And when we click there, it shows the 4 concepts that are frequently encountered throughout the standard domain. So you have play, patterning, cause and effect, and communication. And as we scroll down, each of those areas is shown in a picture. And then more see, this is my favorite quote. Play is a child's work. Play is important for children's development as they learn social and motor skills and cognitive thinking. It's exhausting to be a 4-year-old. It's exhausting to be a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old. Play is important. And I think in some ways we're so quick to get our little ones ready and move into that kindergarten world, we forget some of those important little steps, and that this is that time to play and how important playing really is.
And I want to share with our listeners and viewers that you and I have talked off camera, and we're going to make sure that our next show is dedicated solely to play. To play.
And it's amazing how you can sneak it in without even knowing. They think they're working, but they're really playing.
Exactly. We'll make sure it airs during the summer. But as you said, play is a child's work, and I think sometimes it's not giving the value that it deserves. So I'm so glad to see that it's an integral part here of those milestones.
And your child's early childhood teacher has one of the toughest jobs in the world. And I think just what you said, it's not seen in that way. Play, it's just play. It's not that big of a deal. Play is hard. There's a lot of thought that goes into playing. So I appreciate that. Our early childhood world really appreciates you saying that.
And isn't there so much discovery also in play?
Yes.
And your problem solving as well. How you're figuring things out. So we really need to allow children to play and to play freely and be able to express themselves.
Absolutely.
So if you're mommy, daddy, parent, caregiver, and you're listening to this, please be reassured that if you're playing a lot with your children, you're doing absolutely the right thing.
You sure
Keep
are.
doing that.
Keep doing it.
Playing.
Even if it feels awkward.
Yes.
Even if it feels odd to a grown-up, just go with it. Just go with it.
Absolutely. Discover and learn with your little ones.
Yeah.
Is there another area from the website that families could benefit from? Brooke?
And you hit it right there. When we get it back up, we're going to go right to the Families tab.
Oh, the Families tab. Okay.
Families tab.
So we'll go right up.
We'll go right back up, right there to families. And that's where we want our families to spend a lot of time. And we can click on a specific area, but it says select an age group. So for us, because we are talking more of the VPK right now, if we'll click on that down arrow, it'll open up the 4-year-olds.
Okay, 4-year-olds.
And then a parent, as we scroll down, they're going to be able to click on those blue rectangles, and each one that they click on, you're going to be able to access different areas. And we want the parents to explore, because when we come back, we're going to show them a little bit more the next time we come together.
Excellent. So that will be their assignment to explore the website. Yes, explore the Families tab.
Explore that Families tab.
Brooke, you are just so full of energy. Thank you so much for walking us through this and making something that might seem overwhelming so easy and lively for us. Thank you.
We're very proud of our website. So thank you for the opportunity.
We'll have you back. We're going to talk about play.
Can't wait. See everybody soon.
All righty. And until next time, this has been Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn.